Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Football Focus SG podcast with myself, Faiz, and also our special guest, Harun Nazri Hanafi, expert analysis in football and coaching as well. And also, welcome back again, Mr. JB, our mainstay now. How are you guys doing for this week?
Great. All good.
Yeah, Mr. JB, how are you
It's all
doing?
great. Yeah, it's all great. Hope you are doing well too. Yeah.
Yeah, so again, as days goes by, we have a lot of football happening, a lot of news and stories happening, developing each and every day. So we try to cover as much as we can, talk as much as we can, share as much as we can. And again, thank you guys so much also for always watching and supporting this channel by the likes, sharing, and subscribe and all. Thank you again so much. So firstly, I want to touch a bit on the local news first of what's going on around our local region, Singapore. AFC Cup has been cancelled. So, what do you guys feel about that news that came out? Yes, AFC Champions League is happening, of course, and we have seen a few matches. We're gonna touch on it, but sorry, not AFC Cup. I believe was it Singapore Cup that was cancelled. Singapore Cup. Sorry, Singapore Cup was cancelled. So do you guys agree with the decision that Singapore Cup is being cancelled? We'll start with you, Harun Nazri.
For me, I think with regards to the Singapore Cup, I think it was inevitable. With the way that I think touch wood, hopefully it remains like this. The pandemic, I think it's getting better. I think the way we're handling the situation is getting better.
Yep.
But of course, with the situation, we don't want to. I think the higher ups don't want to take the risk because as it is, we're gonna finish the league late. With the way that things are going now, I think we're finishing the league late with the international break that just happened, and then now with Tampines participating in the AFC Champions League, for sure the schedule will be extended. So of course, it's a bit of a downer that we have to make do without the Singapore Cup for 2 years straight. But I think with what's happening around the world and in Singapore as well, I think it was a good call by the higher ups, made by the higher ups. Yeah.
Is it in a way that actually by cancelling this Singapore Cup, players could actually focus more on the league, which is what we have been discussing previously. Like players need more game time in the league and etc. to build the momentum of their own matches and all. Mr. JB, what do you think? Like, is it wise for the sake of the league, or is it just do you feel like it's a wrong call to cancel the cup? Of course, in view of pandemic, of course, but it kind of reduced the opportunity for players to play more matches.
Yes. Just to touch on a bit on that, I think looking at the current situation, it's a unique one. Actually, I'm actually very thankful that we even have football going on in this pandemic because at the end of the day, we want everyone to be safe. And yeah, so yes, it's unfortunate the Singapore Cup will not be taking place again this year. Last year is obviously due to the pandemic being quite bad, and I think this year with all the all the footballing activities, I think it's a wise move lah to reduce the number of games. At this moment and juncture, I think it's a wise move lah to not continue on with the Singapore Cup. However, it's also a very courageous move to try and finish the league, as what Harun Nazri mentioned on the Tampines Rovers participating, going overseas, this kind of thing. Everything will be lengthened up. The players, I'm not sure whether they will need to go through quarantine and all these things. So I think mentally it's also very, very taxing for the players. So to have another tournament, I don't think it's that wise lah. So yeah, I think it's quite a good move lah. It's sad for the fans, but in view of the players, I think it makes sense.
And I think just to touch on that, I think we have the under 22s going for a tournament at the end of this year.
Yes,
and I think
I believe there's also like the Tokyo Olympics still going on.
Yeah, true. So in a way, to touch on what you mentioned earlier, Faiz, I think with regards to playing time for players, I think it won't help much because we are now the players will be restricted to lesser matches without the Singapore Cup, right?
Yeah.
So the players will be restricted to lesser matches. But I think now as a whole for Singapore football, in a way, I think it gives ample time for the under-22s to prepare. I think my main focus, if it's me, my main focus would be on the under-22s.
Yeah.
Of course, they played the recent friendlies that they played. Of course, it's home ground friendlies. Yeah, playing against our local clubs, and again, our local clubs, I believe they did not put out their stronger players because most of their strongest players are either back at the national team, or they're given a rest to give the players who does not have playing time a chance to play against them. But nevertheless, again, I think I've mentioned this before. I think our under-22s, it's quite a good squad with Coach Felipe over there and then Coach Nazri overseeing things. And, they have the Japanese assistant coach. I think, and the way I think all three of us can agree the football that they've been playing in the league is quite positive. And I believe that's what us Singaporeans want to see as local supporters, right? So I don't think it helps much that the Singapore Cup has been cancelled, so the number of matches, high level matches, won't be there. But hopefully, in a way, the association finds a way to help these players fix matches here and there. And who knows, matches are matches played at a high level, but who knows, maybe it will help the players. Yeah.
All right. While most of the teams in the Singapore Premier League itself are gonna get more time now in the league, focusing, except for one team because they're still gonna have a lot of matches ahead of them, and that's Tampines Rovers, who's gonna have their match tonight, as per recording right now, against Gamba Osaka in the AFC Champions League first match of the day.
Tomorrow. It's tomorrow. Friday.
Tomorrow. So what do you think? I guess Gamba Osaka. What are the chances of Tampines? Do you think they can at least get a point or try to get something out of the game?
I think, it's difficult. I think we spoke about this before. It's the Asian Champions League. It's the first time Tampines is in the competition. But I choose to believe in our boys. I choose to believe in our Singaporean players. I choose to believe in our Singapore team. I choose to believe in Tampines. I think it's going to be a tough task to progress on to the next round. But I think they'll give us, fingers crossed, knock on wood. Hopefully they'll give us good performances. I've seen how Gavin wants his voice to play. I've seen how Rovers play as a whole. I think I've watched them for over the past 2 or 3 seasons. It's been positive. This year, it hasn't been quite, they haven't been at their top level yet.
Yeah.
But hopefully with all the preparations that's been ongoing during the international break, and at the same time, now they're already in Taction. They've been there for quite a few days already, acclimatizing and all that. Who knows? Football, sometimes you go up, sometimes you go down. But I'm not expecting them to progress on to the next round, but I'm expecting them to put on a good showing. Yeah.
But focusing just on the match itself, like of course, like what you said, based on previous episode and now, that we want to see some good performances at least, at least an effort to try and attempt to qualify. But for the first match against Gamba Osaka, and okay, out of the 3 teams, we have Hyundai Jombomoto, Chiang Rai, and Gamba Osaka. Where can you see us getting points from? We'll go with Mr. JB first for this. What are your thoughts about Tampines' chances against Gamba Osaka on their first match? And out of the 3 teams, who can we nick the point from?
Well, to be honest, I'm not quite a big follower of the J League, and at the same time, as a fan, let me just throw it out there. I think life's sailor speed better. No, joking. Okay. Let's just focus on Tampines Rovers right now.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly, Tampines Rovers this season, based on just the league performances, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I'm not sure it's because of their attacking being weak or their defense is the one who needs some improvement. But there are times where they've proven themselves, especially Coach Gavin. There are times where, he get his tactics spot on. He managed to grind out the result, 3-4 goals, no issue. But again, we're talking about Gamba Osaka over here. At the end of the day, I think given at least, a good performances is the most important. Gamba Osaka, my humble prediction at the same time, I'm hoping for a draw at least. if we can get a draw, I think it will really put a map. It will really put us on
Would
a
you
map.
consider that a win if we get a draw?
No, definitely not a win. I think a win would be great, but a draw itself, I would say that at least Coach Gavin is in the right direction. Uh, to at least show to the rest of them that we are here to compete as well. Rather than just being there just to participate, and you know just go home empty-handed. No, no, no. At the end of the day, show to them that we are fighters. Don't be afraid of them. I mean, the recent game, the JDT one, I managed to catch that one. It was really an open-end game. You really couldn't tell that they are against the Japanese side and all those things. So I'm really hoping that Japanese could portray that. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Arun Azri? How do you feel the chances? And again, same question. Who are we gonna nick the points from at least from this group?
Okay, I think the most common sense answer would be the team that I think we can nick points off will be Chiang Rai. But then again, Chiang Rai were champions of the Thai League 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
And they were third place in the last season. Yeah.
Yeah, so they do have players. Now I don't know much about the Korean side. I haven't done more of my research on the Korean side. But I believe Gamba Osaka is struggling this season. If they are now fourth last in the league, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Gamba Osaka
so,
isn't doing too well in the league though.
Yeah. So I think based on current standings in the J League, I think they're fourth last. But the J League has always been a league as such. One year you can be at the top of the pile, and then the next season you'll drop. I don't know the reason for that, but yeah, if it's based on, I think if you're sitting fourth from the bottom out of 20 teams, I think that doesn't bode well for your confidence. So I think we might get a surprise draw against Gamba. We might get a surprise draw if Tampines plays to whatever that Coach Gavin wants them to play. We might nick a draw, and again, I don't think they're high on spirits, but it could be a different thing altogether. J League aside, Champions League one side. They're struggling in the J League, but now let's focus on the Champions League. It could be the case, but I'm going with a surprise draw. Let's do better than J League team. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, personally myself, I'm hoping for a draw as well, at least to come out, because despite Gamba Osaka is struggling, but they are a side that knows how to win. They are the side that has been in this competition before. They are the experience in this Champions League, while Tampines, ourselves here, local here, we are debut there. So yeah, a draw might sound reasonable. Well, so moving on to international a little bit, speaking about struggling and all, the Euros, the group stages has just ended. So what do you guys think about the group stage? And personally, I think I'm gonna ask you guys a question as well. Which team would you guys consider the most underwhelming out of the group stage, and which team would you consider the better ones or improved ones from the group stage? We'll start with you, Arun Azri.
I think come as no surprise. The most underwhelming team to me has got to be Turkey. I think everyone is expecting a lot from Turkey, but I think right from the very first match against the Italians, I think something just wasn't clicking. I think the standout players for that team was Hakan, but again, we cannot just depend on one player. Everyone is speaking a lot about Soyeon Chu and Demiral, but I think they had a bad tournament. It doesn't. And the right back, Eric Terzic or something like that. I'm not sure about the name, but I think the right back is one that just won the French Ligue 1 with Lille. And he's one of the talk about players, and I think he didn't put himself up too well as well. So underwhelming team, I have to go with Turkey. Team that surprised me a little has got to be the Mr. JB's favorite team, Oranje, Netherlands. They've not been in big tournaments for the past 2 series, if I'm not wrong. They were not in the World Cup, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
And they were not in the Euros, the last edition.
They missed the 2 major tournaments before that.
Yeah, so with them missing out on these 2 major tournaments, and they have Frank de Boer as the manager. Mr. Jose Mourinho claims that he's the best Premier League manager without any goals scored, without any wins. With Frank de Boer as the manager, I was quite surprised that they came out from the group with 9 points. But having said that, the players within their ranks, it's Wijnaldum finished the group with 3 goals as a central midfielder. You know, that's amazing. So stand-up teams, to me, yes, we can speak about Belgium, but everyone expects Belgium to be up there. But I think surprise team, I won't say surprise, but the team that caught me by surprise has got to be Netherlands. Underwhelming has got to be Turkey.
All right. How about you, Mr. JB? Which country would you consider very disappointing tournament in group stage, and which one's the most surprising?
Well, it really depends, but looking at the table, right, I think the one that I'm mostly disappointed with is Spain. I think Spain, definitely.
Yeah,
I
Spain
think,
dropping
really
to
have a
second
very,
at the
very
final day.
poor- Yeah, I mean, come on, you are a World Cup winner. You're also, the players that you got are definitely good enough. And yet, I have friends who actually said that Spain only best player in the tournament right now is only Thiago, and nobody else is playing. So I don't understand that. They have the players. Their striker definitely have quite a number of poor games, especially missing the penalty, Morata.
Yeah.
A bit unfortunate, penalty 50-50, yes, but I mean, when you have, especially in your past, when you look at Fernando Torres, your David Diaz, all these strikers. So you look at Spain, I don't know, man. There's just something about Spain that is quite underwhelming at the moment. When you really have to depend on the last match and Sweden going top of the group and not you. So I don't know, man. Spain is definitely disappointing for me, especially the games that they do, against Poland, against Sweden. I think that's not good enough, and especially the selection, not choosing, the El Capitan Sergio Ramos.
But Aymeric Laporte did score in the last game that he played, and he is just coming into a new country of his, and he seems to be doing well.
Yeah. I mean, I believe for new players like Laporte, and especially the change of nation representation and all these things, he is definitely ready to go raring on fire. But the rest of the players, I don't know, man. I mean, I feel that Spain is underwhelming for me personally. And I don't think they will progress after the round of 16 too much. But
we're going to talk about the round of 16 soon, don't worry. But who's the most surprising team then for you?
Oh, okay. The most surprising, wow.
From the group stage alone, just group stage alone.
Okay. Honestly, just from the group stage, the one that surprises me is like what Aaron Nazi mentioned, Netherlands. Okay, for getting that full 9. But I think the more obvious one for me as a fan is actually Wales. I find that the last 2 games they played very, very well. Despite the first game that they played, it looks like they're gonna knock themselves out. But I really feel that Gareth Bale is really pulling the strings together for the team. It's almost like
he's a very different person from the league than the country, isn't he?
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, you can tell that the players are slowly, gelling up, playing for the nation. Yeah, so I think Wales is a surprising team, compared to the rest. As you can list out Italy, Belgium, all these things. And I think a special shout out to also Austria. Also, I think Austria also played very, very well.
Yeah, they did win against Ukraine, which I think previously our prediction, I think me and Harun Azri kind of had a little bit more faith in Ukraine more than Austria, but Austria did come out on top. And don't worry, we'll go through a review of the whole Euros in the episode after the whole Euros. But personally for me,
that's my pick.
Personally for me, I think the most disappointing group stage, like what Harun Azri said, Turkey. And here's a fun fact actually for you guys. Among all of the teams that are currently in the bottom of the 4th, Turkey is actually if you put all of them together, Turkey is the worst among all actually. Turkey has a 0 point with -7 goal difference. Even North Macedonia is one up than them just by goal difference. Despite 0 points, but goal difference, they are better than Turkey. So that kind of says a lot of how underwhelming they are. Most surprising, yeah, I noticed you guys say Netherlands and all. For some reason, this is what I feel. Okay, I know it's gonna be weird and it's a little bit controversial to say this. Hungary. Here's why. No offense. Out of that group of death, they only have 2 draw and 1 loss. Yes, that one loss may be against Portugal and it's a last 10 minutes where they conceded 3 goals. But it kind of make you wonder that if they are not in this group and the way they perform right now compared with these big teams, do you think that they will actually qualify? I actually think they would. I actually think they would. If they were in some other groups, I actually think they have a chance. It's just that very unfortunate that they are in this group, but getting a points in France and Germany, 2 of the powerhouse team, that alone is a surprise for me. But other than that, yeah, I would agree Austria was taken me by surprise that, they are performing well. And yeah, here we are moving into round of 16. Are you guys ready for some predictions?
Yeah, for sure. I
Ready?
know.
All right. Okay.
A
Okay.
special shout out to Hungary, because if you realize the reason why they're doing so well is because of their 12 men. I mean, if you see their matches in Budapest, Hungary, is because of their 12 men. I mean, if you look at their fans at the Budapest Stadium, it's crazy, I tell you. It's crazy,
Yeah.
crazy atmosphere. I mean,
Yeah.
kudos to them, as you said, yeah.
Yeah, I would say a really great effort. Definitely better than Turkey's effort, So, all right, gonna go on to round of 16 predictions. So I'm gonna bring up a couple of matches. You guys share me your thoughts. Share me who's gonna win. Not doesn't necessarily has to be a score, but if you want to put a score line, it's up to you. But you can give me the scenario. Is it a win by 90 minutes, after extra time, or penalty? It's up to you guys. All right. So round of 16, first match we're gonna go through is Wales against Denmark, both from the Group A and Group B. I believe both are in second place. So Wales against Denmark, Harun Nazri, I'll let you predict first for this.
The Wales against Denmark, boring game. I think it's going to be a very boring game. Equal. I think they're both equal in terms of ability. I'm going to go with Denmark. Christian Eriksen. They're gonna is gonna power them through on to the next round. I'm gonna go with Denmark.
You're gonna go with Denmark, like just straight out 90 minute, 90 minute full time they will win.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. JB, how about you?
Yeah. Easy pick for me, man. It's Mr. Gareth Bale's team is going through. I think they've slowly proven themselves. I think James played very well as well. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with Wales straight out 90 minutes. They're gonna go to the next round.
All right, so Wales straight up 90 minute. For me, I think no offense, I think like what Iron Aziz say might be true. It might be a boring game, but it won't be a 90 minute game for me. I think this might be the after extra time where they're just gonna draw each other all the way, and in the end, I would say Denmark is to edge this one. Not particularly reason to Eriksen kind of case, but Eriksen is more like a boost now. But again, I just feel that with that boost and with the team that actually tried to galvanize themselves from the first nightmare against Finland, they are definitely gonna go through, I feel. All right, so going on to the next match, we have the Italy versus Austria. So I'm gonna go first for this. Italy versus Austria. No offense to Austria. I know, Mr. JB, you're a big fan of them now. They are the surprising team of yours. But Italy, all day, any day, convincing. I mean, come on, coming out from the group of 3 wins and 7 goals, 0 concede with full clean sheet all across. I think they're gonna get this another win with clean sheet as well. That's my prediction. 90 minutes clean sheet. Mr. JB, how about you?
Well, for me, as much as I think Austria improved, but this time I'm gonna go for Forza Italia, man. So it's clear cut. You mentioned it spot on. I think they've been unbeaten since even before Euros, not conceding since before Euros. I think credit to Mancini, is it the manager?
Yeah, Mancini, yes.
Yeah, credit to him, man. He looks good. I like his suit. He's a very imposing figure on the pitch.
I don't think the
I
suit's
think this
gonna
one
affect the
easy.
match, but all right.
Yeah, but I think this one's easy. I mean, you mentioned that it will be over in 90 minutes. I say it's going to be over in the first half, man. At half
Ooh,
time.
convincing, very convincing then.
Very convincing. I think they are the ones who I'm the most impressed with.
All right. Harun Nasri, over to you.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the fairy tale story. I'm gonna go with Australia. Austria 1-0.
Ooh, you're
Yeah.
putting an upset on Italy of all teams.
Yes.
Is there a reason?
Fairy tale story. I've told you before, when it comes to prediction, I don't think too much. I go with my gut feeling. I love the fairy tale story. It's going to be a heartbreak for the Italians. I can foresee Chiellini retiring without winning anything. I
Ooh.
can see, heartbreaks. I can see Chiesa crying as he's trotting off the pitch after the match. I'm gonna go with one. I'm gonna go with a win. I'm not gonna give a scoreline, but I'm gonna go with a win for Austria.
Over the
Extra
90
time.
minutes? Extra time.
Extra time.
Extra
I'm
time.
gonna go extra time. Yeah.
All right. Very surprising to see
Yeah.
Arnazzi, who was predicting Italy to be the dark horse in all of our episodes previous, but now an upset. We shall see. Anything can happen, right?
Fairy tale. I love my fairy tale story.
Yeah, fairy tale, of course. We all love some fairy tales. All right, moving on to the next match. Netherlands versus Czech Republic. Well, just nice. Mr. JB is gonna go first for this. He's your favorite, Mr. JB. Oranje versus Czech Republic.
Oranje. I think Arnazri mentioned it's spot on. I mean, looking at their players, especially with the Pai and everybody else, I think they've really matured. They've really shown that they are ready. For the big stage, despite not participating in two major tournaments in the past. Wijnaldum, he's on fire right now, and I think the player called Dumfries. I'm sorry if I pronounce his name wrongly, but
Okay.
I mean,
Dumfries.
he's on fire as well.
Dumfries.
Yeah. So for me, I think Czech will pull off a surprise. It won't be an easy fight for the Netherlands, but I think the Netherlands will edge it on extra time. I think this time they will definitely be tested for sure. But still, Netherlands to go.
So you're saying Netherlands will win over the 90 minutes, or?
No, on extra time. On extra time.
time.
It won't be easy. I think Czech will give them a difficult time.
Okay. Harunazi, over to you.
I'm gonna go with the most common sense answer. I'm gonna go with Holland winning the match. No need extra time in 90 minutes. And I'm gonna even predict a score. I think they're gonna win it 3-0.
Ooh, 3-0. All right. We're gonna remember that. All right. Don't worry, we're gonna remember that. For myself, I think as much as Czech Republic has proven to be a surprise in this tournament as well for me, which I was backing Scotland in the group stage, but Czech Republic took it by surprise. But again, I think Netherlands is gonna prove to be a little bit more stronger than them, but not gonna be easy. It's gonna be over 90 minutes, but it's not as convincing as 3-0 for me. It's gonna be just a 1 goal difference. I'm not gonna put a score, but it's a tight game, but 90 minutes should be enough for them. So moving on to the next match, pretty much one of the very interesting round of 16 tough matches. I'm going this by date. All right. So next up is Belgium versus Portugal. Harun Nazri, you're gonna go first for this. What do you think? Belgium versus Portugal.
I'm gonna go the most simplest answer I can ever give. I'm gonna go with my man Cristiano Ronaldo. Portugal to win it in 90 minutes.
Ooh, Belgium to be out in round of 16.
Yeah. I'm telling you, of course, no offense to the teams that participated in the tournament, but I always feel with this such a tournament, the tournament only starts from the round of 16 or the quarterfinals. And now we're seeing good matches. We're gonna see a lot of good matches. Some of the matches are gonna be intense, some of the matches are gonna be tactical, but it's going to be fiery. I'm not going to miss all 8 matches, I feel. No. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to miss all 8 matches. Maybe the first one, Denmark against Wales. Yeah. But the rest of it, I think I'm going to stay out to watch all of those. Portugal to win. Cristiano Ronaldo, 110 goals against the opponent. He's gonna break the record in the next match.
Ooh. Well, Mr. JB, would you agree with Harunasi? Is Ronaldo gonna break the record, or is Belgium gonna break Ronaldo's heart and Portugal's team?
Well, Ronaldo can continue breaking all his records. I can see him playing for even the next Euro. I think I won't be surprised if he keeps himself fit at the moment and start pushing more Coca-Cola.
He doesn't
away.
get injuries, does
Yeah,
he?
he can break all his personal records, but sadly, I gotta give it to the Belgium chocolates, man. I mean, Lukaku is on
Always
fire.
the Belgians.
It has to be the Belgians. I mean, Lukaku is scoring as well. Let's not forget about that. As much as Ronaldo is breaking records, you got Lukaku, and De Bruyne and Hazard and everybody else. I mean, they are out there to prove something. And I think the last game, I think Portugal, they were a little pressured, but they did manage to claw away with a draw. So I'm gonna give Belgium for this full time win for Belgium.
All right. For myself, I'm gonna. It's a very tough one, but I'm gonna give it. I'm actually gonna give it a Belgium, and here's why. I don't know. After watching Kevin De Bruyne's masterclass, I'm more convinced of his masterclass rather than Portugal defense. No offense, because Portugal defense is very shaky. Not gonna lie, but it's gonna be a first game.
Portugal have the best player in the English Premier League as
Ruben
central
Diaz.
defense.
Ruben Diaz. One of the men who scored an own goal.
And they have Pepe.
Yeah, and they have Pepe and all that. Yeah, they have defenders, yes, but for some reason they don't know how to keep clean sheets.
I think Ruben Diaz has not been. He has not had a good tournament so far. He has been shaky.
A little bit
shaky.
But with that being said, I'm not trying to say that Belgium's gonna steamroll their way, but it's gonna be a close contest. I'm gonna say Belgium actually gonna win Portugal. It's gonna be 1-1 after extra time. Belgium to win by penalties.
Wow.
Thibaut Courtois will just come out of nowhere and save the day.
So who will miss the penalty? Ronaldo?
No. Ronaldo's gonna score, but definitely Bruno. Maybe Bruno might miss.
Look, let me.
Bruno.
Hang on. Hold on. Before I start talking about Bruno,
yeah.
A fun fact, Ronaldo missed the penalty in the final against Chelsea in the Champions League final, right?
Yeah.
So again. But yes, it's true. I have to admit, Bruno also has been underwhelming so far this tournament. So but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe Pepe might take and then he missed it. Anything could happen. But my thought, Belgium to win by penalties. Moving on to the next one, we have Croatia versus Spain. Well, pretty much a World Cup winner versus a World Cup finalist just recently, of course. I'm gonna go first for this. Spain has been very underwhelming, but for some reason they have not lost in the group stage. Croatia, this is one of those things where both teams are just not up in their game right now, but it's two powerhouse at the same time. Easy for you?
Easy.
I'm gonna go with Croatia to win 2-1. I'm just gonna say 2-1 just for fun, but after extra time, because Spain knows how to hold the game. Croatia to win after extra time. Gonna rotate to Mr. JB next. Croatia versus Spain.
Easy for me. This one is just a battle of leaders among the two nations. Which one has a good leader? I think Croatia has one in Modric. So for me, it's quite easy. Croatia, Although yes, I think Spain will not make it so easy, but again, I think Croatia will somehow scrape through for sure.
Like what, within 90 minutes or after extra time?
No, extra time. I think it's gonna go to extra time. It will be those dull draw where both will try to defend and counter, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah.
Yep, but I think Croatia will manage to straight through extra time. Yep.
All right. Harunasi, do you agree, both of us, with Croatia after extra time, or do you have something else?
I'm gonna go with Croatia in normal time. Either Perisic or Modric to score the winning goal. I'm speaking about that. Did you guys saw Modric's goal in the last game with the outside foot?
That is.
You were saying Kevin De Bruyne masterclass. Luka Modric has been doing it for years.
Yeah.
So Croatia for me. Let's go. Next.
All right, Croatia for you. That's a dominant victory, I guess. So, or last minute, like what you said. So moving on to the next match, France versus Switzerland. So France versus Switzerland. Mr. JB, gonna go to you first for this. What do you think?
Well, I actually predicted France to go out of the group stage, if you remember the past few episodes. But for some reason,
You did predict it, and third could go in as
Yeah.
well.
exactly. I mean, that third row, that's for another day of discussion. I
Yeah,
think in this particular match, purely France and Swiss, I think France will steamroll their way through. This
Yeah.
one is quite straightforward, I think. Yes, their group stage has been quite underwhelming, especially in the striking department. Their goals mainly are coming from individual talent, that they have. Mbappe need to pull some strings and all that. It's quite
Yeah.
unfortunate for my man Dembele to go out injured again. I think that's his problem.
Yeah.
For Barcelona and now in the nation, I mean, just come on, and then it's quite sad that he's actually injured. Hopefully, we'll see more of Giroud, Mr. World Cup winner without a shot on target, whatsoever. So, yeah, France to win it.
All right.
90 minutes.
90 minutes to win. All right. Now, Hyrule Nasri?
I'm gonna go with the surprise. Again, fairy tale ending. I'm gonna go with Switzerland winning the match via penalties.
Wow.
Yeah.
High penalty.
Via penalties. I don't know why I just said that, but I go with my gut feeling again. But I think so far for the French team, Antoine Griezmann has got to be their best player so far, not N'Golo Conte. The amount of work that Griezmann is doing for a player who's attacking minded is underrated.
Yes.
And I feel he got all of those attributes from Diego Simeone when he was at Atletico.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, Griezmann is always a hard worker off the ball. I think if you look on World Cup 2018 itself, a lot of people talk about Mbappe, but on the field, the one that actually link up the play, the one that actually creates the pass, the flow of the possession is Griezmann. We've seen Griezmann, and again, he's just one of those guys who perform well in both club and country. Maybe more to the country now. In Barcelona, not so now. But do you think that Griezmann might be providing one of those masterclass again, or do you still feel Switzerland might cause an upset?
I don't know why, but again, I know why. Maybe because I love the fairy tale story.
Yeah.
So I'm still gonna go with Switzerland. It's gonna be. I think it's gonna cause a surprise to everyone. I think it's gonna be an open game. I think it's gonna be an exciting game. I think it's gonna be a huge scoreline, something around 3-3 up till penalties, and then penalties. I'm gonna go with Pogba missing it.
Ooh. Pogba missing it. Another menu player.
Yeah.
Mr. JB, you agree with that?
I mean, first is Bruno, and then now it's Pogba. Come on, the Pogba that you're looking at now is not the same Pogba I meant, right? The Pogba
That's true. That's true.
The brand new Pogba.
He's performing. I think he's performing. He's performing okay as compared to his time at United for the past 4 or 5 seasons. I think he's performing well with the French team, but that has always been the case with Paul. He's always been performing well for the French team. But I think one thing that stands out more rather than his performance, if you guys realize, he's always using that hands off, one side with it and the other without. So I think instead of focusing on football, he's focusing on trying to build a brand. He's trying to get kids to wear like that instead of focusing on
a trend. Yeah, I think that's what nowadays.
You just wait and see. It is like that those days when Cristiano Ronaldo used to put on the white socks outside of his usual team socks.
Yes.
Paul Pogba is trying to set a trend by doing that. Trust me, it's gonna. You watch kids playing football. Give them the next year or so, or starting after these Euros, you're gonna see that trend happening. Trust me.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
For myself, I'm just gonna go with. I'm a France supporter to begin with. France to win, Switzerland. Full 90 minutes should be easy for them. Not say easy in the terms of like convincing 3-0, 4-0. I'm gonna put like maybe 1 or 2 goals difference, like 2-1, 3-1, something like that. All right, moving on to the next match, we have also another battle of the Scandinavians country, I would say. Sweden versus Ukraine. So Ukraine managed to qualify by being third, best of the third, and Sweden topped the group in the Spain group. So Harun Nasri to start first. Sweden
I
versus
think easy for me. I'm gonna go with Sweden. Isak, brilliant. He has been brilliant throughout the entire group stage.
very
Underrated player. I
underrated.
think just now you were asking about the most underwhelming team and the most in a way overachieving teams. I think if you ask me, players who are playing out of their own shell or they're playing better than their own self, I think Isak is one of them. It has got to be Isak, Antoine Griezmann. These are the two players that stand out to me for now. But it's the collective way in which Sweden plays. I feel everyone was talking about they're gonna miss Zlatan, blah 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 blah. But I think Isak is proving to be a player that I'm not surprised. I believe he's now playing at Real Sociedad.
Yes.
I'm not surprised after this Euros, big clubs are gonna come for him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Sweden winning this one.
Like
and
over the
Asia
90
Central.
minutes or after extra time?
After extra time.
After extra time.
After extra time.
All right.
Yep.
Mr. JB, gonna go over to you, and you of all people did mention in our initial group stage prediction, no Ibra, no party, and you were actually the first to say Sweden to be out. So Sweden are now first from the group and against Ukraine. So what do you think are their chances?
Well, yeah, they definitely surprised me without Zlatan for them to be doing pretty well. At the end of the day, for me, I think for this group, I'm gonna give it to Andre, man. Andre Shevchenko, this is his time to shine.
Ukraine
I think
to
Ukraine
win.
will pull the upset. Ukraine will pull the upset. They will manage to pull the upset. I think, I don't know, just like how Harun Nazri said that he likes fairy tale, I think this will be my kind of fairy tale. I think Ukraine will somehow pull a miracle on this. Extra time, Ukraine will make it.
After extra time, Ukraine. All right. And for myself, I will go with this is one of those teams, one of those games that even though yes, Sweden looks good in the group stage, but Ukraine can still come out something out of it. But I'm gonna go with Sweden after extra time. I feel that again, Forsberg in the last game was solid in the last game. And Isak, who has been wonderful in the tournament. Ukraine, for some reason, despite their European qualifying stage, they played really well. But in this tournament, a little bit underwhelming, but I think Sweden might win this. And moving on to the final round of 16 game, and it's also another one of those big games, is what they call England versus Germany. So I'm gonna go first for this. England versus Germany. Oh man, this is hard. But I'm gonna go with England to win after extra time. They're gonna nick it before penalty. But if and only if this goes to penalty, I would say German. If it goes to penalty, I would say German. But if it goes maybe full 90 minutes after extra time, I think England might nick it. I would say nicked it. All right. I'm gonna push it over to Mr. JB. England versus Germany.
Well, I think the last few episodes it's quite clear. I'm a Dutch fan, but at the same time I'm a German fan as well. I mean, come on, Gareth Southgate. I mean, he still doesn't know his best 11. He's still experimenting. He's changing too many players. Yes, I understand injuries happen, all kinds of things. But that's the thing. Sometimes when you have too many good players in a basket, and you can't seem to get your right shape, your right teamwork going on. Honestly, England has been underwhelming in the group stage. That has to be said. I mean, they're not scoring enough. Yes, in a tournament setting, 1-0 is enough. But sometimes it's not. So I think if they try to pull a 1-0, I think German will set it up just like how Germany trashed Portugal in the group stage. I think the same thing will happen with England. I think England will score first, and then Germany will give.
So are you saying Germany to win over 90 minutes?
I'm saying over 90 minutes, Germany will win 3-1. I'll give a scoreline.
Wow. All right. Harun Nasri, last man to predict England versus Germany.
I think I have to agree with Mr. JB. Yeah, I have to agree with him. We don't agree much on certain things, but this I agree. And if you take a look at the history books between the Germans and the English, it has always been high scoring matches. Sometimes, most of the time, it's been. I think I can remember twice or thrice that they end up with high scoring matches. The 5-1 against England and all those things. I think this match is going to be like that. England, I agree with Mr. JB. I think England is going to score first, and then Germany to win it by 2 goals at least. 2-1, 3-1. I think 3-1
over the 90 minutes.
Yes, and my explanation for that is, again, I agree with Mr. JB. I think, how can you leave Jadon Sancho, who has contributed so much to Dortmund, on the bench? I don't understand. How can you leave Jack Grealish, who is captain of Aston Villa, a team that I think surprised many in the EPL? How can you leave him out? Of course, we understand he got injuries and whatnot, but when he's available, why are we not putting him out to play? Of course, you can say we have a lot of players. Raheem Sterling has not been performing well for Man City, but he's starting. I believe this is. I don't want to accuse anyone. Every coach has their own preferences on players, but it doesn't make sense to me as an outsider, having watched Jadon Sancho's performances for Dortmund, having watched Jack Grealish's performances for Villa, having watched Jude Bellingham's performances for Dortmund. I don't know why they're not starting. They do have Declan Rice and Calvin Phillips in the central midfield role, but because of that, having 2 players in the holding midfield role, I think it makes it boring. I think it makes the England team look boring. I think, as I don't know about the English fans, but as a neutral, I think this team has a lot of potential going forward. So why not we unleash them? Again, I think both of you and people who have tuned in knows that I'm not someone who 100% believe in all-out attacking football. I believe in doing things that is necessary for matches. On days which you think you need to defend more, you defend. On days which you think you should attack, you can attack. But I think with the abundance of talent that the English squad have, unleash them. Why are you afraid? Just unleash them. And I understand it's against the Germans, but sometimes you have to make a statement. If there's a game that we should be conservative, I think this is the game that England has to be conservative. But during the group stage, I think there were plenty of opportunities for them to go forward and attack, but they did not. I want to see Jadon Sancho starting. If he does start, maybe it'll be different. But as of now, with the way that things are going, I'm gonna go with Germany winning.
All right. Germany to win full 90 minutes, I believe, right? That's what you said.
Full 90 minutes. Harry Kane to not score a single goal.
Yeah, Harry Kane has been pretty quiet, but don't know why I say England, but his prediction. Anyway, this wraps up for today's episode. Thank you guys again so much for watching our podcast. And thank you again, Harun Nazri and Mr. JB, for always sharing your thoughts and opinions. Hopefully, we do get to bring some more guests. Hopefully, more topics, more things to talk about. Do follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and we're open on Spotify. So do check us out over there. You can check it out. We have, I believe, about 3 episodes already being uploaded in Spotify, so you can check it out and listen as well. So question of the day for you guys, since we're sticking to Euros and round of 16 already, in the group stage, which is the most surprising result to you? Which result would you consider to be the most surprising? I can give a few options, like was it the Germany winning Portugal 4-2? Was it Spain winning Slovakia 5-0? Actually, that's not really surprising. But I'm going to go with my surprise result, I would say, will be Hungary 2, Germany 2. I do not know why. I watched that match and Hungary was literally hungry. They are hungry for goals. They were going all out. And I think that match was very entertaining, despite only 2-2. But it's a very good game. Next to it, I would say 4-2 Germany win. And next to it, I would say surprise result will be Turkey losing to Italy 3-0. Yeah, that's my surprise result. What about you, Harun Nazri?
I think for me, I would have to agree. I wouldn't say about surprise. I just take one match, the match that I watched last night or early in the morning. I had to toggle between 2 channels, watching the Portugal against France game, and then toggling between that and the Hungary and Germany match, because of of course, surprise package. I won't say surprise package, but a surprise of a result, because I was expecting Germany to trounce Hungary based on the result that they last had in their last match before they played against Hungary. I think they were playing against Portugal.
Yeah, they won Portugal 4-2. Yeah.
So yeah, so I think I was expecting. No, the last match before Hungary, they were playing against the French team. If I'm not wrong, the French or the Portuguese.
The
I'm not
first
too
game
sure.
Germany played against France and they lost 1-0, and then the following against Portugal 4-2.
Yeah, so and they won against Portugal. Yeah. So I was expecting them to, and even the match against Portugal, the 4-2 that they won against Portugal, they were not at their best. I think Kimmich, whom I predict as the best player to come out from the tournament, has not had a great tournament thus far. Muller has not had a great tournament thus far. Timo Werner has not started. Kai Havertz has been quiet. Leroy Sané has not been up there. Leon Goretzka has not been starting. So I think the Germans has a lot to play for, and fingers crossed, I hope from the round of 16 they can progress on and fly. But why I choose that match against Hungary, because I was expecting them to be better. The 4-2 win, yes, it's a win, but it wasn't a brilliant performance. I was expecting them to explode against the Hungarians, and it didn't happen. And that's credit to the Hungary players and also the Hungarian fans. They were fantastic, as what Mr. JB mentioned.
Yeah, it was. Mr. JB, which result would you consider the most surprising or entertaining to you?
Sorry.
JD there? Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I was talking, but the mic was muted. Okay. So there goes my mic. Okay. Okay, but let me just be honest about this. The surprising scoreline is a match that I did not watch, but I'm going to watch, because based on just looking at the stats and the highlights, it seems like it's a pretty crazy match. And that is Sweden versus Poland, 3-2. I mean, I saw VAR, I saw shot of the bar, I saw my man Lewandowski scoring 2 goals, and I saw a
5-goal thriller with a 94-minute goal. I mean, that's a very entertaining.
Exactly. Yep. So I believe that match for me at the moment right now might be the one that I feel that I need to catch up before we check it out. Yes, that's all. Like, to me, it's the most surprising, because it's end-to-end stuff. Really.
All right. With that being said, thank you guys again so much for watching. Do stay tuned for more updates. Follow us again on Instagram and Twitter, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care, guys.